May I remind you that trading is risky and not suitable for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Welcome to QuantBox Daily. QuantBox, your global macroeconomic quant in a box. That's quite a mouthful. It is a beautiful online tool that you can subscribe to. The weekly trial is just $7.90, and it gives you all the tools that you need to have a fundamental bias in the market, which you can then match up with technical analysis to get an edge in your trading. What we do in these sessions is we follow a specific strategy with QuantBox, where we look at the market heat map, we look at our most bullish pairs, we look at our most bearish pairs, and we then look for opportunities on those trades. Ideally, if something is very bullish and our bias is bearish fundamentally, can we look to sell that resistance? If it's very bullish and the bias is bullish, can we look to continue that trend? If it's very bearish and the bias is bearish, can we continue that trend? If it's very bearish and the bias is bullish, can we then buy at support? It's a very simple strategy. Very helpful, because what it does is, instead of looking at your charts and looking for opportunities and and going through a whole bunch of charts and oh my gosh, this really saves a lot of time. It makes it very efficient. Okay. And this updates all the time. So if you refresh this before market open, you will get updated stats. Keep an eye on the market heat map, right? It's your friend, totally. Let me show you what we do. So we can see right now Aussie yen, Kiwi yen, CAD yen, and dollar yen all up for the session. Remember how yesterday they were all down? The day before they were all up. Well, they're ranging, right? We'll look at those in a second. Nikkei's up, USO's up. So we got some risk on. We got some risk off down here, Europe and the UK. Okay, cool. NAS is down. Okay, US S&P is down. So it's a bit of a mixed bag, really. But looks like the yens are looking good. Okay, Nikkei is looking good. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at these top pairs. We'll take a look at the market and we'll see, are there any opportunities? Okay. Now, we spoke about the yen pairs yesterday in terms of opportunities to continue the sell, or alternatively look for opportunities to buy, because some of these are neutral. Now, what happens is we jump into Aussie yen, for example. Look at all our yen pairs. So we go over here. I've got two tabs open. So on the yen pairs, we can just have a gander at all the yen pair biases. So you can see Aussie yen currently a sell. Now that's cool, because that means Aussie yen is coming up to resistance. Do we have an opportunity to sell that? CAD yen is coming through with the sell as well. Okay, can we sell that? Euro yen, neutral. So this is a case of if you had supports, you got bullish confirmation, can you buy? If you got resistance, you got bearish confirmation, can you sell? Pound yen, we've got a sell, and Kiwi yen, we've got neutral. So Euro yen and Kiwi yen are the only neutral pairs. Everything else is a sell. So what you might want to do then is say, well, if all the other yen pairs are bearish fundamentally, maybe we can do the same thing with Euro and Kiwi. Okay. So what we do is jump into our MT4, whatever you're using. Okay, it doesn't really matter. Use whatever, if you're using Trading View or whatever the case may be, it's all good. So on the Aussie yen, you can see we put this into a range yesterday. We're going to leave it there. Okay, now look how fast and efficient this is. We popped it in a range. We're going to leave it there. I don't trade ranges. If you do trade ranges, though, what you can do is you can see we're kind of up now. Yesterday, we looked at this and we said, okay, we were at the 21 EMA yesterday. I said to you, if you want to sell this, you're looking for the lower low, lower high. Now, you'll notice on a 5-minute chart, just as per my instruction yesterday, you didn't get the lower low, lower high. However, you did get the higher high, higher low. So if you bought this yesterday, I know the bias is bearish, but if you decide to be short-term bullish because of price action, then you got into that trade. If you are a bear, then what you're waiting for is you're waiting for price to come to the top of the range. Okay. So if you're buying down here, you're taking it up to the top, but now recognize the fact that a range isn't necessarily exactly bottom, exactly top. So as price is going up, you're looking at your pivot points. And yesterday, you bought off of, I'm going to ignore the monthly M2 because we're currently ranging. Pivot points aren't great when we're ranging. Okay, you can see the M3 didn't get to the M1, the M2 didn't get to the M4. So don't worry about the monthly pivot points. Weekly pivot points also pretty useless. You can see that like an R1 kind of made an S1. Those really aren't helpful. But the daily pivots could be quite interesting. So if you look over here, yesterday we came off of the M1. And so your M1 target would be the M2. You can see there's your target over there. Okay. And so your target for S2, because I think some of you are sort of thinking right now, hold on a second, isn't the target the central pivot point? S2 to central, M1 to M2. So if you bought this yesterday, little day trade. You got in over here, you took it up M2, and you got out over here. Okay. If you're doing day trading, you're saying, hold on a second, I'm ranging, and right now I'm at the daily R1, then you just do the exact same thing. You fold it in and you say, give me a lower, low, low high. Just like you got over here, higher, 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 low, higher, 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 low, higher, 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 low. Various places where you could have bought. You could have bought down here. You could have bought over here. You can line this up with a roll reversal over there. You could have bought over here. Okay, as per the instruction yesterday, and everything I've been discussing so far in terms of how you tactically confirm these trades. Now, what you do is you say, well, if you're looking to sell, then you're looking for the opposite of this: lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. Okay, groovy. Otherwise, you're waiting for price to come up to the top of the range. The thing is, the nice thing about the top of the range is you get the full movement. Okay, if you're selling over here, you're not really at the bottom or at the top. You're kind of in no man's land, and be careful of that. Okay. I personally prefer not trading ranges. I prefer trading trends. So I won't trade this, but you know what to look out for if you are. So taking a look at the next pair, CAD yen, also coming through bearish on fundamentals. You can see still stuck inside the range. If you believe bottom of the range, and this is a much better place to be buying than the Aussie yen, okay? 21 below the 55, sure, but look at price action, okay? Remember, these are lagging indicators. Your price action is really going to give you a much clearer picture of what's going on. So if you're looking to buy, you can see price broke out of the range. And this was yesterday, 4 o'clock. We still said, can price pull back to the bottom of the range and you sell that? Now, price broke back inside the range. So you would have waited. And you could have said, hold on a second, look at that. This candle here, closing bottom of the range. Fine. You would have gone to M15 time frame and you would have said, do I have the lower low, lower high? And you never got it. Okay. We were looking at CAD yen yesterday saying, if you're looking to buy this, look for the higher, higher, higher low. And you can see that you got it in various places. Okay. Asia as well. And so there, little day trade, out of position over here. So you're definitely taking profit in the profit taking zone. If you're looking to sell this from a day trade perspective, daily pivots, lower low, lower high is what you're looking for. Okay. But recognize the fact you are at the bottom of the range. I wouldn't sell at the bottom of the range. I would wait for price to break out, pull back, sell. Okay. Adjust your behavior accordingly. Euro yen's the only neutral yen pair, also still stuck in a range. It's the same thing, team. Okay, same thing. Same exact thing I just discussed on the previous pairs. If you did buy this yesterday, you can see that we identified this resistance over here yesterday. Now look what happened. Price broke that resistance and it became support. It's the very same thing you could have sold at yesterday. You waited, and then later on, sort of just after New York, sort of London close, you could have bought that and taken it up. If you're looking for a sell now from a daily pivot perspective, lower low, lower highs, what you're looking for, and M4 to DM2, okay? Just be careful though, because you have got a range and you are currently at the bottom. So like personally, I look at the daily time frame and say, not trading, okay? But I'll leave it to you. Pound yen, currently coming through bearish, still stuck in the range. Cool, it's the same as the rest. If you did want to buy this yesterday, you can see here, there's your 21.55 cross. There's price breaking up, pulling back down, and there's your buy. Okay, taking it up there. Currently breaking 21s, breaking 55s. Are you going to get a pullback? Are you going to get a lower low, lower high? Can you take it down? Perhaps you can. Just recognize, though, you're now in the middle of the range. That is no man's land. Bulls are down here. Bears are up there. In the middle, lots and lots of piggies. Okay, so behave accordingly. Kiwi yen, I think consistency is the most important thing with these, right? If you trade ranges in a very specific way, always trade them in that way, right? Consistency is more important than money. If you are consistent, you will make money. But if you are not consistent, you'll make money sometimes, you'll lose money other times, and in the end, you'll be break even at best. Okay, so here you are, bottom of the range. If you bought yesterday, then you're looking for that higher, higher, higher low. Okay, again, that 21 EMA over here, could you have sold that? This was London. We were still setting this up, right? So what I said to you yesterday was, if price comes and closes at 21 EMA, look on the M5 time frame. Do you have a lower low, lower high? Let's have a look and see if we got one set up. Okay. So here's the M5. You can see there, no lower low, lower high. You had this range the entire time. So you never would have sold this. Okay. But you could have bought it over here earlier today, Asia. You could have bought in here. So you could be in a little trade and you would be at the bottom of the range there. So, you know, it's definitely viable, but definitely a day trade. Okay. Definitely taking it up to, it's difficult to say because you came off of S1 yesterday, and now you're at R1. So I guess you really are just looking at that and saying, can I take this from this was a daily, S1, right? S1 to R1. That's your target. Done. Okay, fantastic. Otherwise, you are waiting for price to come to the top of the range. You're going to sell there and you do whatever. I mean, you've got a fundamental bias in these, right? So follow that fundamental bias, act accordingly. Okay, so those are yen pairs. Still stuck in ranges, but there were opportunities yesterday if you followed the instruction on how to tactically get into those trades. And they were on the market heat map yesterday. We discussed these in depth. Go look at yesterday's video. You'll see I discussed it quite a lot. Okay. Rightio. So let's take a look at that's all our yens. We've got some Swissies down here. We've done our pound yen. We can look at our Swissies. Let's look at Kiwi Swissy and Aussie Swissy. Where are our Swiss pairs? They're in crosses. Okay, cool. So so Aussie Swissy over here. Let's have a look and see. Blah, 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 blah. My goodness. That thing again, when you can see it and I can't. You're like, it's right over there, coach. Neutral. Okay, let's take a look. Aussie Swissy. I mean, that looks pretty sideways, eh? Let's block this. Let's trap it. Okay, and you're currently in the middle of the range. So you could have sold a few days ago, but right now we're in a range. Okay, middle of the range. I'd leave that alone if I was you. Let's look, and that's neutral fundamentally as well. Let's look at Kiwi Swissy. Kiwi Swissy coming through with neutral. And let's take a look at the profile. Kiwi Swissy coming through neutral. Okay, let's just extend this range. We drew this range over here, but you can see price came back in, price came back up, price came back in. What I'm going to do now is just extend it like that. Okay. And now we've got a new top of the range. Currently, it's flat, sideways. Looking at yesterday, coming off profit-taking zones. Do we have any kind of high lows? No, not really. Okay, cool. So you're leaving that alone. Fundamentally neutral, technically neutral. Not our bag, baby. All right, that's our bullish pairs. And of course, you can go through the rest if you'd like to. You can see them all there. In terms of our bearish pairs, we've got pound Aussie, pound Kiwi, Euro Aussie, Euro Kiwi, pound CAD. Let's look at these ones. Pound Aussie, pound Kiwi, pound Aussie neutral, pound Kiwi neutral. What else we got there? Euro Aussie, Euro Kiwi. Euro Aussie is currently neutral. Euro Kiwi is currently neutral. Okay. So let's go. Pound Aussie. Broke out of this range. We blocked in this range earlier this week. You can see we didn't come down to the top of the range. Did we get that on H4 though? So I think we still spoke about this yesterday in terms of you could have bought over there. Take it up. Okay, cool. So now we're over here. All right, fantastic. So we're neutral on the on these pairs. However, you are above the profit-taking zone. Remember what happened 2 days ago on the yen pairs? This could be a place where you might want to take this down. You can see we've already come down and pulled back during Asia. So what you're looking for now is looking for pullbacks to 21s. Let's just say, for example, you get a pullback to resistance. Let's say you get a pullback to resistance. Let's say you come off a 21 EMA. How do you verify that? Do you just sort of see the 15-minute chart close at the 21 EMA and just take it down? You don't. Why? Well, look at your euro yen. Look at how yesterday at London, we were at the 21 EMA over here. There were a few of them, actually. Let's look at the CAD yen. The CAD yen was a good example of yesterday. Price was at the 21 EMA coming into London. We're sort of over here. We still said what you need to do is you've got to focus on the lower time frame. So going back into our pound Aussie, I believe that's the pair that we were on. Yeah. So pound Aussie, what do you do? Let's say you come up to this resistance here or resistance there, jump into an M5 and then look to the M5 and say, have you got any indication of bullishness? Okay. And then go into the M1, any case of bullishness, right? So when price closes at the 15-minute 21, it'll be one of these moving averages. I think it'll be this one over here, closer to the resistance. Just look to see that price made a lower low, lower high on the M1 time frame and then take it like that. Okay. So you get to resistance M15, verify tactics M1. Okay. Cool. And then you can continue trading this. And your target is you're coming off the daily M3, and you've broken the daily central. Okay, so it wasn't a case of counter trend trade, take it up to daily target. You've broken those. So the only target that makes sense here, based on the sell zone, is the daily M1, daily S2 down here. Okay. Mark it off. Potential target. Okay, cool. Then looking at the pound Kiwi on the daily time frame, trapped the range, price broke out, price is coming back down right now. On the H4 time frame, we did not get the breakout pullback. Look at this horrible range, right? Nasty. Okay, cool. So we got price coming off profit taking zone. Same thing as the previous pair. Can you pull back to resistance and then verify that lower time frame? Okay. And again, M3 down to target. That's a trade plan, but you must verify it. Okay, cool. Euro Aussie, let's take a look at Euro Aussie. Let's see. Euro Aussie, we got, okay, we're still stuck in the range. Move on. Euro Kiwi, still stuck in range. Move on. Okay, cool. We leave those be. Okay, now what you can do is you can go through the rest of these pairs. You've got a couple of pairs here, follow the same logic. My recommendation to you, we can do one more. Let's do pound dollar. Okay, let's look at pound dollar. We can do one more. Let's do pound dollar. And we got pound dollar neutral. Okay, cool. Pound dollar neutral going through to pound dollar. We can see here on pound dollar daily currently ranging, but you are at the top of the range. So, and we did say this wasn't a target for buying, this was a target for selling earlier this week. We're saying when price gets up the profit taking zone, pay attention to that. Maybe you can take it lower down. Okay. So you can see here we got a range that's formed over here. Okay. Let's get rid of the X. Okay, got a range that's formed over there. Fantastic. Going into the lower time frames, what have you got? Okay, you're currently coming up to the cross of a 2155. So what do? Wait for the close, wait for London open in half an hour, see where price is. Go into the M5. Is it bearish? Okay, go into the M1. So you can see the M1 right now, we've got, let's wait for the update. You got this motion in the ocean, right? What you're looking for in M1, first you need the resistance M15, and you got the resistance high time frame, top of the range. Look for a lower low, lower high, 21 cross to 55. That looks like this. Okay. Difference being, you're not using the M1 for the resistance levels. You're getting resistance high time frames. You're just verifying tactics on M1. Okay. Cool. That's if you're looking to sell at the top of the range. Beautiful. Do the same thing I've just done now with the rest of these pairs, pound, Swiss, euro, CAD, euro, dollar, USD, dollar. And then what you do is you look at this heat map, every market open, do the exact same thing I've done now, and make sure you verify everything tactically. Okay, very important. If things are ranging, remember your range rules. If things are trending, remember your trend rules. Remember how you can confirm those tactics on those lower time frames. Now, it might be frustrating because you're like, oh, no, like, I mean, I don't really want to confirm things tactically because it takes too much time. I'd rather use pending orders. Well, then look at your trading results and wonder why they're so bad or mediocre. Or maybe they're great. If they're great, carry on doing what you're doing until it doesn't work anymore. But what I'm recommending here is a pretty good way to confirm that something's bullish or bearish after you've seen it currently up or down for the session. And you then looked at the technical analysis and said, am I at the top of the range if I'm a bear, bottom of the range if I'm a bull, at resistance if I'm selling in a trend, or at support if I'm buying as a bull? It's as easy as that. It requires patience, it requires discipline, but those two things together ensure that you will remain liquid. I hope you have an amazing day. I thank you for your time. Have an amazing weekend, my friends. I hope this week was good for you, and I'll see you all, fine human beings, on Monday. Au revoir.